Konnichiwa, this is the Shogunstein, and this is some initial thoughts on the 2024 version of Harvest. This is an agricultural themed game. It's for 1 to 4 players. They're showing a 30 to 70 minute playing time. It is from Keymaster Games, and just in the interest of full disclosure, we received a review copy from Amazon Vine. So just to be transparent, we did get a review copy. So this is just some initial thoughts, because one of the initial thoughts that we had was that we definitely need to get some more plays in of the game, because it seems like there's a lot of different strategies that you can take. For instance, Little Shogunstein did really well with the buildings and with the tending and harvesting. So I'm not sure if we played this some more, would we maybe want to stick with just the buildings? Would we want to do more of the harvesting? Do you want to focus more on the high value pumpkins? Or, are there some other strategies to try here? So one of the first things I'm going to throw out there is there seems to be a lot of different things you could do, and the game is very tight here on things you can do, and the spaces fill up where you can go because there's worker placement. So sometimes you can be blocked from what you want to do. So I'm going to say, as one of my initial thoughts right away, is you're going to want to give this several plays. This is not going to be one that you can play once and be like, oh, I figured this out. I think you're going to want to think about what are the ways to go. So when we play this some more, we're going to be trying some different things. But again, do you want to go the building route? Do you want to do more of the crops? How do you want to do that? We didn't really do much here in the trading post, and until this last round, we didn't really do a lot in the farmers market. So I don't know if that's something that we're going to want to try a different time. Now, in terms of the components, this is the basic version. I believe there is a more blinged out version that you can get, but the components are very nice. My other Keymaster game obviously is Parks, which also, fantastic production. So again, this is the base game, and the components are very nice, but I believe there is more blinged out. Now, a couple of things also in terms of initial thoughts. One, rulebook was very good, very easy to figure out what's going on. So again, unfortunately in board gaming, there's a lot of bad rule books out there. Even the first Parks rulebook from Keymaster, I didn't think was that great. This rulebook was much better, and everything was explained very nicely. The symbols were explained very nicely. So I'm glad that they invested in a good rulebook. There are too many games out there that are expensive games, and they do a bad job in the rulebook. So I think I watched like half a video before we played this, and was able to just rely on the rulebook, which very often doesn't happen. I didn't need a watch it played or anything. The rulebook was good enough. And again, everything's explained. The symbols are very good. Components are very nice, and again, very easy to figure out what's going on. And then there are other things on the board that also remind you this is what you can trade. This is what it costs to plant or tend or to harvest. So it's done very nicely. But there are two things that also stood out. One, this is advertised as a 1 to 4 player game. Now, with solo games, I understand that you might be playing against a bot. This is the second game in recent weeks that I've had where, again, it's advertised as for two, again, 1 to 4 players. But in reality, it's really for a higher player count. And even at 2 players, you have to play against this bot. So that's something I normally don't like, is having to throw in a bot. Now, in the case of this particular bot, going into the game, I was not happy that at 2 players, we had to have a fake player. Again, if it's going to be for 2 players, you shouldn't have to have a fake player. And again, I've been seeing that more lately. However, I liked what this one did because in the worker placement, this bot was a real jerk. And the jerk store called and they're out of him. It really, in the course of the game, took up spots that we wanted to go to. So it was very frustrating. So that made it a good bot. So normally I do not like in a two-player game that it's not really a two-player game. And again, for the solo version, I get it. I understand for the one player. But for the two-player, and, again, you're going to be blocking off certain spaces. It tells you, which area of the game. Is it the highest, the lowest, the left, or the right? But it was really frustrating because it really messed up some of the things we wanted to do. So this ended up being good. And especially in worker placement, where if there's too many spaces around, it's not as fun. This really tightened the game up. So again, initially, we play a lot of two-player games. I don't like two-player games that aren't really two-player games. In this case, though, they did a nice job with that. The other issue I had with the game, and this is more something that we're seeing in board gaming, whether it be the reprint of Libertalia. Recently, we had Wild Tiled West. And it's these replacing people with cute animals. So again, the art is nice. I'm not taking away from the art. It's cute. But I don't like that they're doing this. I don't like, animal pirates, animal sheriffs. We're adults. We're mature people. We can handle different people in the game. I'm suspecting that there's some political correctness involved in why we're seeing more animal instead of people. That's just what I suspect. I'm not I don't have any inside knowledge, but again, to me, it takes away a little bit of the theme here. Now, what do I mean is this game, because of these cute animals, when I initially started to set this up, it seemed almost like when I was setting it up, because of these cute little animals, it seemed like a kid's game almost. And in playing it, it wasn't. It was pretty cutthroat. But this gave me the impression, these cute little animals gave me the impression that this was like a cute little kid's game. And there was more to it. So I think it really takes away from the game a bit too. Now, because of this, maybe you could have had, some more issues with agriculture. Maybe you had something about, the way agriculture used to be in this country. Maybe you have something about, the big farms that are going on. Maybe you have something about, the People's Liberation Army buying farms in the United States that have to be near military bases. So you could do kind of adult themes with farming. But again, when you have these, cute little animals, or like Libertalia, the new version, and the new version is very good. I like the game, but I don't like animal pirates, Wild Tiled West with like the animals, animal sheriffs, I kind of, but they're not kids' games is what I'm saying. I guess if it was a kids' game, I can understand the cute little animals. I'm an adult, I'm a 50-year-old adult, I can handle, people in my game. And I think, it would make the game, a little more serious feeling. Again, I don't have any inside knowledge. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe just cute little animals sell more. Maybe that's it. But I'm just, a little tired of all the, the cute animals in games. Foxes and frogs and, pigs. Again, a pig farmer. I don't know. It's just kind of, what do the kids say today? Weird and goofy. That's just, again. So I would have liked maybe, people in the game, just like I'd like pirates, just like if I'm playing a Western game, I want I want a sheriff that looks like Kurt Russell or Val Kilmer, not an animal. I want like a pirate. a real pirate, not a animal pirate. So nice looking art, but I think the art makes this seem like more of a kid's game than it is. So again, initial thoughts, we had a lot of fun with it. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was tight. It was tight. It was definitely a lot of different strategies going on here. And again, very pleasantly surprised by the, again, sort of the fake player that you put in here at 2 players. Normally, we play a lot of 2 players. I like true 2-player games, but this one worked well. And I really started getting mad at it because it was going to places that I needed to go to try and win the game. So we'll have some more thoughts on this as we play it more. As we've mentioned in other videos, there are games that, there's different things you can do, so you need to play it more before you can say, hey, there's a lot here, there's not a lot here. So in terms of a full review of the game, we got to get some more games in and, talk about, the different paths to victory. Like, I didn't even have any blueberries. Little Shogunstein did well on the blueberries. I didn't. You had to do the blueberry bush, then you had to get the blueberry. So again, lots of different things you can do here in terms of, the components, the instructions, everything that's in here. They did a nice job, and it was definitely an enjoyable game. It was again frustrating because there are things we couldn't do because the spaces got taken out. But again, my big criticism so far on just the aesthetics of the game is enough with the the cute little animals. So let's bring some people back to the games, and let's get some different types of people, diverse people, but let's get some people back. Anyway, that's a look at the new version of Harvest 2024 edition, 1 to 4 players, 30 to 70 minute playing time from Keymaster Games. Again, we got this review copy from Amazon Vine. This is the Shogunstein out.